Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to again thank you guys for subscribing to the channel and embracing me and my perspective. As we see with my analytics, we went from 96.8 to 96.7% of you guys who some actually are returning subscribers. So again, thank you guys for the continued support, and that's what makes these opportunities available. Shout out to NUU Mobile for sending out their B30 5G affordable smartphone, a phone that's packing a powerful punch for just $289.99 or $290 for short. A phone that once we unbox it, will have some very, very contemporary styled choices based off of today's technology, today's smartphone landscape. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's something that will help it stand out, but also to some degree blend in for consumers and customers that actually want to partake and enjoy. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this box here. Let's get that knife popping and let's slice it on open here. Now, I've been excited to check this phone out here. I will have to call my carrier to hook it up in terms of the carrier service or my network connectivity. And here we are. Nice simple packaging. It does have 128 gigabytes of storage. And if I just kind of cover that a little bit, as you see here, B30. And let's go ahead and unbox this. And it's just as simple as pulling this out. And what do you get with this phone? Well, first of all, it looks really, really nice. You get your SIM ejection tool here, plain and simple. And upon taking that out, nice, simple, clean look. So shout out to NUU for having that a part of the showcasing. You get USB-C to C, which is very, very clean right there. And you get a power brick, something that you don't see with phones that cost crazy more expensive. And this is called the quick adapter. And we also have the phone. So, all right. Oh, okay. And what else do we have in here before we get to the phone? Let's see here. Upon opening this, they also provide a case, which is very generous of them, with some stickers. Okay, new stickers, I see you. Got that lime electric volt green going on right there. You get your little rabbit or mothballs, if you will, and then you have your paperwork here that nobody really cares about nowadays. And you get a case that kind of blends in with the style of the phone. Welcome to the NUU family. I like that. We're here for you. Thank you for choosing NUU. For live customer support and product registration, contact us via NUUmobile.com or by using the QR codes below. So that's good to see there. And just to get a brief look in terms of the case, let's go ahead and take the sticker off on the back. The phone is very light, which is what I also like. Ah, nice sound. And then let's just real quick, it's a nice simple case that provides necessary protection, blends in quite well. Again, like I said, looks very, very good and stylish. As I said, if you look at the camera, something that's highlighted about this, but we'll get into that a little bit later. You see that they have that tri look, but there is no additional module. It blends more into the casing of the phone. You see it doesn't stick out that far, which I think is a great decision by NUU with this B30 5G. And just to take this case off, as I said, it's a 6.7-inch AMOLED Full HD plus display rocking 120 hertz. Thank you. Because again, for $289, how is it that this phone has 120 hertz and some of today's competition doesn't? And if you look at this color, it kind of has like a translucency to it. It can look a little blue, it can look a little purple, ultraviolet, indigo, if you will, midnight, slate black. It's got a really nice, clean look and feel to the phone. I mean, it's just very, very light. And that's something that I'm actually going to very much so enjoy with this device. Now let's go ahead and cut it on. If this is the power button, as you guys can see, yes, I felt a little vibration. You get the power button right there and the volume rockers up top, again, reminiscent of other phones in today's marketplace. But what I like is that's what I mean, like the curved display, something that is very reminiscent because a lot of companies have decided to shy away from it. But this phone here said they want to embrace that kind of technology. And so with that being said, what else do you get with this device? Well, you get the MediaTek Dimensity 7050 chipset, 8 gigs of RAM, plus 8 gigs of extended RAM. And basically what that means is you just have a little bit of additional RAM that you can use. Probably that's, I don't want to say physical, it's like probably virtual RAM. And we see some phones today with that capability to have that extension in RAM. And it's nice to see that NUU again brings that here with this device, the B30 The other phone that did, or the other, the other aspect of this phone or feature is it does come baked with Android 14, and so it's going to be interesting to see what software support looks like for this phone going down the road, because it's launching now with Android 14 and Android 15 has just released. So hopefully that won't be too far around the corner for the new B30 device. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to checking this out. So we'll have to skip that later. And as you guys can see here, agree to news, little check marks there. Help improve, all that, that's fine. And now it's looking for my Wi-Fi. All right. Now, one of the things I've noticed with this software it is that it does come with Google's keyboard, or the Gboard, which is very nice. It's a welcome addition here. So you're not going to have a lot of typing issues with this device. I like that. And now it's probably going to ask me to kind of try and transfer some of my information on over from a previous device or from another device. I think I'm going to go clean with it. Maybe I'll try to transfer some things over from my Z Fold 6 just to kind of get it up to speed. So it's probably not a bad idea to do that. So let me go ahead and get that situated for you guys, and then we'll be back to talk a little bit more about those cameras. Show you guys this cool animation with the fingerprint sensor, and I also found out this phone actually has 256 gigs of storage, which is a great positive surprise. So you won't have too many problems with storage when it comes to the B30 But this animation is pretty neat. So as you place your finger on it, you're going to notice that it highlights aspects of the finger that it wants you to read. And so as you guys can see, it's also struggling just a little bit to get my entire finger, because I'm also doing this behind camera. But sometimes slow makes it feel a little bit more authentic because it's actually reading your fingerprint. So now that I hit next, and as you guys can see, things are transferring from my Z Fold 6, setting up my Google Assistant here. It's still, what's nice about the software so far, I know it's first launch, first boot up and all that, but it feels very fluid. As you say, it's still copying, but I like that so far. The software is very fluid. It's very smooth so far. It's, of course, copying all my information and data right here. And so once this is all finished and wrapped up, I should be able to finally boot into the phone and give you guys a look into the operating system, the home screen or home launcher, and see if there's any other subtle changes that NUU may have added to this device that really add some differentiating factors for the B30 Now, one of the things I also want to show you guys about this phone, which is really nice, is its charging animation. Something that is a pleasure and delight to look at once this phone starts charging. So I'm just going to take this charging bank that I got right here. It looks really, really nice. And as you see, that's the charging indicator. Doesn't that look really, really cool? And the nice part about this is this phone has a 5,000 milliamp battery, and the charging brick that we mentioned before is a 30-watt charger that's included in the package, and it's 30 watts, which again is actually higher than some of today's standards by other companies releasing smartphones. So again, NUU Mobile is doing a good job of being able to highlight and provide great value at a very, very affordable price point of $290. And as you guys can see, let's check out the fingerprint sensor. Pretty fast fingerprint sensor, and it is essentially stock Google. So maybe Android 15 would be here a lot sooner than expected, but it's essentially stock Google with, just a little bit of bloat with the NUU Help app. And upon looking further, if we maybe scroll down to the ends, we might see some more. Nope, just that app really. I transferred as much as I could over to this phone from my previous phone, and we're pretty much good there. So as you see down at the bottom, you have capacitive, if you will, buttons with the back, the home, and the recent apps button. And I believe if we go into settings, so I'm going to swipe down and we're going to head into settings down here. If we go into settings and let's see if we could jump into display, will it allow us to change it to navigation? Now for me, you already know I like adaptive brightness. I think that makes so much more sense. and then always on display. I could turn it on if I wanted to, or I like that look right there. So maybe I do something creative like that. And then I don't know what digital clock means. Turning this on leads to faster battery. Hey, that's fine. That is fine. That's what we're here for. All right. So swipe up, I hit apply. And as you see, do I want to apply? Yes, I do. And so now that is applied. So once I turn it off, you're going to see it's right there. So it has its own level of flare, which is nice. And I like that. So now let's see if we can get these buttons situated. So we have edge lighting on here as well, which is nice. And it's probably due to the curved display, but let's say we went with green, gives a nice little vibrant kind of kickback. And it's so interesting that we get that because, again, this is very similar to some of today's leading smartphone makers in the industry. So it's interesting that they adopted something similar that, again, adds a nice level of flair to your phone. And the lock screen, let's go down here to dark theme. It should turn on automatically. Let's do from sunrise to sunset, just to make it simple for now, which means it should cut on here relatively soon. Display size and text, my tone, which is interesting. So you can change how your screen looks, normal versus vivid mode, and you can change the color temperature if you wanted to. So that's good to see there. But if we scroll down a little bit further here, status bar extension, that's a neat feature here. Default, that's what it looks like up at the top. But if you wanted to, you could disable it and have the black bar at the top. So most phones still give that option. Screen refresh rate is auto select, but I'm actually going to switch it to static 120. I want this smooth all the time. And then your charging animation, you can actually have color. You can have static look, which is interesting, or a classic. What does classic look like? You could do something like that, but I actually like the default. I like this one a lot better. So we're going to keep that. Display network speed, that's an interesting feature there. But right now I do not see in display anyway the ability to change the navigation. So maybe if I back out, maybe it's somewhere else as we continue to come through and look in the settings on how to adjust the phone. Ooh, sleep apps you don't turn on. DuraSpeed, that's actually pretty interesting. So clicking on this, as you see, DuraSpeed helps boost the foreground app by restricting background apps. Some notifications may be postponed or not received. So they give you an option to adjust your notifications, adjust your app usage. That way you can find ways to save battery life. But we did find gestures here in the system settings, navigation. And for us, we're going to switch it to gesture navigation, something that I much rather prefer. And we're here. So press and hold the power button for the power menu. You can also do digital assistant if you wanted to. I think I'm going to do digital assistant, and I don't mind the sensitivity or the press and hold on it. So I'm good there. And by backing out, you see the little back indicator. You see that right there. So it's got its own, again, creativity and flair. Let's check for a software update to see if Android 15 has came to NUU Mobile. Not yet, but it is. The security update is back on July 5th, 2024. So that should be updated, in the near future as well for this device. Now let's back out and go to security and privacy. And let's see if we have any Google Play system updates. And we might have some of these. Let's see. We do. See, so 97 megabytes. This may catch it all the way up to October, which will be great. So I'll be doing this here in the background shortly. But this is the wallpaper, the static wall, or the standard or default wallpaper you get with this phone. And again, it looks very, very good. And it remains in line with what we see with today's competition in the smartphone market. So it's really, really good to see there. Press and hold. As you see, this is a surefire, Google Pixel-like, if you will, but vanilla Android on the NUU Mobile B30 5G, and I'm really liking the feel. The phone's very thin and it's very light, and again, I love the cameras that don't stick out much. And let's finally get into these cameras. The cameras do have AI picture recognition, or as they call it, perfection. The main shooter is a 64 megapixel f1.9 aperture, and it does have electronic image stabilization. And then the wide angle is an 8 megapixel f2.2 aperture. The macro lens is a 2 megapixel f2.4 aperture. So we definitely see that they're doing a good job with these cameras, giving us some things to play with. Again, keeping the price point in mind, to get a 64 megapixel on the back is great. And on the front is a 32 megapixel. So, wow. Wow. You got 32 megapixel in a $289 phone. You can't not beat that at all. And one of the things I had to change in here in display, because this gets on my nerves sometimes, is the screen timeout. I don't like that 30 seconds. I like it on 5 or even 10. And then screen attention, I like that on as well. So again, that actually might help some of that. Now you have intelligent assistance in here as well. And this is where you can see your RAM expansion. When enabled, all incoming calls may be answered automatically by placing the phone against your ear. I actually like that. Screenshot by gesture. Enabling will allow you to take screenshots simply by swiping downward anywhere on the screen with 3 spaced out fingers at once. I like that. Screen split by gesture. This enables you to divide the screen between 2 different apps by swiping upwards on the screen with 3 space fingers at once. That's pretty cool. Why not? Jump the camera. When the screen is off, double click the down button to jump the camera. I actually like that more than the power button, because it gives you the ability to still use gestures to open the camera instead of having to decide between power, digital assistant, and the camera. So I like the fact that they routed that to the volume rocker. Lift to wake, I don't need. One-handed mode, I don't need that. Flash notification for calls is cool, but I don't need that. Double tap to wake, I like that. Battery will discharge faster, that is fine. It's interesting, they give you a lot of warnings about things that can, drain the battery, so that's also good to see. Double tap to lock, not a big deal. Flashlight shortcut. Enable this feature will allow you to toggle the flashlight by long pressing volume up while the screen is off. I like that. Side application bar. Swipe from the left or the right edge of the screen and pause. Open app from the dock at the edge of the screen. So by turning that on, I should be able to, boom, just like that. You can have a panel here that looks like can be edited or adjusted to your liking. And if not, let's say I want to, can I press and hold? Nope. So these are your main apps, I get. Oh no, okay, hit the plus icon, duh. Oh, I gotta get rid of stuff. So let me get rid of file. Ooh, that's interesting. I'll get rid of photos for now. And I want to add my calculator. And then it looks like I could continue to add apps if I wanted to. So depending on how I have my layout on my display or on my home screen, I could come in here and actually add additional apps that I want to have on here. Now, since I have Samsung, I could get rid of Samsung Internet since this is using Google's browser, and I'll just keep the Chrome, which is nice, a nice addition here. But as I see, there's not too much else I want to add. For me, I get a little picky with this because I want to make sure my apps are necessary if I'm going to have them out and about. So as I scroll, I don't see too much else that I may want to add. Maybe my package tracker. But if I want to, let's just say I want to add my wallet, I can add it. That's nice. Good to see. I can add my maps. So I can add a good, nice little list if I want to. And by hitting that, now that's there. And I do that by clicking out of it. So really, really nice to see. And if you guys want to see some of these, if I turn the screen off and I press and hold the volume down button, it should activate the camera as it said. Oh, I got to double press. There we go. So double pressing it opens the camera. Boom. And that's what you get right there. And while we're talking about the camera, let's go ahead. I already took a couple pictures to show you guys, and I actually probably flash them up on the screen. I took pictures of the breakfast, and as you see, the basic image still looks good, but definitely is not as vivid and as poppy as the AI that has 14 selection modes that it's trying to gather information from to give you the best quality image for what you're trying to take. And so you'll see in the next couple pictures where I allowed the AI to pick the food scene to hype up my eggs and bacon. And then there's another image in there that I think I adjusted by turning off HDR, because I may not even be able to show you HDR, but I gave you guys a couple different shots just to show you kind of how the focus is, where it can focus on the eggs or the bacon as well. Just subtle, slight differences there. So that's also good to see with these cameras, is that they do have a level of versatility. And if we scroll in, we see that the camera still has quite a bit of detail on these plants. when zooming in. So just with a brief look into these cameras, we're seeing a high quality when it comes to cameras at this price point, $289 for some very, very good cameras. You can't complain at all. And if we press and hold the up, that activates the flashlight. Press and hold it again, it should turn it off. Do I have to press and hold longer? Do I have to? So you could turn it on, but it will not turn off. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, buddy. We're gonna need to have to get that adjusted there. You should be able to press and hold it on and off. So NUU Mobile, if you can send an update out on that, that would be great. But overall, I find this to be a very solid device for $289 just out of the box. And then you get a nice solid little small screen protector, as you guys can see, if it focuses correctly. So that's also good. They give you a good hookup with this device, and thus far I'm liking it, and I can't wait to bring you guys additional coverage on this device. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so all free that was a video, so you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. Don't forget to hit that super things button down there, better like and dislike button, Cash App or PayPal, and check the channel out for all the videos available to you. That's where to keep tech fresh and alive on this channel. Let me know down in the comment section below as well what you guys think about NUU Mobile. Have you heard of them before? Are you into affordable or budget / mid-range devices? I would love to know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. But that's it for this video. And until the next video, wait for it.